All right, hey guys, how you doing? So today we're going to talk about one of the most valuable assets that you have as it relates to your business as a loan originator or real estate agent. One of the most valuable assets that you have. So we're going to talk about what that is and how to use it. But we're also going to do a check and see is this asset ready? Do you have it ready to actually be useful to help you in growing your business and growing your production in 2019? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning, there's an asset. You and I both have an asset. I think you'll agree with me. Potentially, arguably, it's the most valuable asset that you have in your business. And I would say that's your database, your past client database, all the people you've done business with in the past, plus those that are in your sphere of influence. So other business partners, friends, family, people you go to church with, other parents, moms that are on your kids' soccer team. These are the people that you've built relationships with, and it's so valuable. In many ways, one way to illustrate that would be you think you're ready for 2019. You think you're ready to make a jump. You're gonna double your production in 2019. And maybe one of the initiatives you have on that is you're going to make 10 phone calls to your past client database and or others in your sphere of influence. You're going to make 10 proactive phone calls, or maybe it's a combination of proactive phone calls and emails, or proactive calls and texts and handwritten notes. But regardless, that's how this is, you're going to make a concerted effort to reach out to people that can fuel your business this year. Is your database put together and organized in such a way that you have easy access to it and to pull up the names that you want to contact? It's right there, it's right in front of you. I know probably for many of you, you're thinking, well, yeah, I think so, or I know so, but let me ask you a couple things. Okay, first of all, do you have a stack of business cards laying around of business cards you've collected over the last 6 months, 12 months, whatever, that you haven't yet put into your past client database or into Outlook or Gmail or whatever? Do you have sticky notes laying around the office? Do you have a journal or notebook that you take notes on? Or maybe it's a yellow pad and it's got names and addresses and phone numbers of people, and you have this intention to get them into your database, but are they there? That would be the first thing I'd ask you to think about, okay? Because it's so hard to execute on an action plan, to reach out and to connect and to continue to build relationship with people that is going to drive your business in 2019 if you don't have immediate access to the information. What happens is you set that appointment with yourself, okay, and it pops up in Gmail or in Outlook, reminder, I'm going to spend from 1 to 2 o'clock on Tuesday making phone calls to my past client database. But then that pops up and you start to think, shoot, who am I going to call? Or I know there's people that I need to call, but they're not in my database. Or I've got part of my database here, and then I've got part of my database still in an old CRM from the last company I was working at. And then I've got that stack of business cards, and it becomes overwhelming, and all of a sudden you can't execute. You can't execute on that action plan. And so, man, I've had that happen to myself. I've had that happen many times with people that I'm working with. So that would be the exhortation today. Take a minute and stop. Is my database in a place right now where it's both secure, right? It's backed up to the cloud. It's easily accessible. That means, it's on my phone. I can get to it immediately, 24/7. I would say too, as an insurance policy, have a printed hard copy of your database and print that out every 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, but so that as a backup to a backup, you've always got a physical copy of that database. Reason being, I hope you're working at an unbelievable company and you love it and you're loyal. You have no intention of leaving ever, but sometimes things happen that are outside of our control. And it's a huge bummer when something happens and you're placed in a position where you've got to make a decision, and maybe that is, I got to leave, and I got to leave today, or maybe I don't even have a choice. I'm leaving today. That is not the time that you want to start thinking about, is my database in a place where I know I can get to it and get out and move to the next location that I'm going to be? You don't want to be thinking about that right then. Not at all. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful for you today. I hope there's, maybe for some of you, in fact, I know there'll be a little bit of conviction of dang, that's right. I needed a kick in the pants. Like I need to get this organized, and so I'd encourage you to do that for sure. Tomorrow we'll look at another aspect of your business. I'm going to challenge you on, and we'll see. Like, is that something that you have that needs a little bit of work and attention to make sure it's good to go for 2019? All right, guys. Hey, thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.